For different reasons, many people today think that the Catholic priesthood is a profession with no future, that it belongs to the past. It is true that the effort and expense of a seminarian education are great, even more so the sacrifice made by young people who decide to answer the call of that unique vocation, not only the intense formative stage, but also the radical choices that a priestly life entails. Not only evangelical celibacy, obedience and poverty, young priests are called to abandon themselves to the welfare of the flock that is entrusted to their care. So, what is it that moves young people to enter seminaries?
In fact, more than ever, the reality is that what a priest represents in the midst of his community is leadership, primarily spiritual, but also catering to the community's social, cultural, and other needs. Nowadays, more than ever, people need priests who feel compassion, truly capable of understanding, of living the full breadth of their lives with them, wholly, deeply, and thus enable them to truly reach out to Christ, to help them live their faith spiritually in accordance with Catholic teaching, and thus truly arrive at imitating Christ, and thus live their Christian faith intensely. They need priests who really listen to people, and who can respond to what society truly expects from them, because society in this country is suffering from many evils today.
As to
what motivated me to enter the seminary, I can say that there were many things. In the first place, when I was a child, about 12 or 13 years old, and I saw a priest celebrating Mass, I said to myself, right, how beautiful is it to be a priest? And then, with time, the reasons became ever more numerous. I must say that they became ever more real. More real in the sense that you begin to appreciate the meaning of what priests are celebrating. But there is also a reason which has an even deeper meaning. As baptized people, God calls every one of us to follow Him. He wants us to be committed.
The reality of a priestly vocation is not the same everywhere. In different parts of the world, the number of callings vary, as do the facilities, the buildings and the means the future priests rely on for their formation. As regards Haiti today, the major seminary of Our Lady works in very temporary premises, in tents.
Je suis témoin des sacrifices.
I have witnessed the sacrifices made by candidates to the priesthood in Haiti in order to follow Christ and to serve the Church.
Les défis sont énormes pendant le temps de la formation.
Challenges are great during the time of their formation, and especially so today. Both seminary buildings, where the philosophy and theology faculty used to be, were destroyed. There are challenges today, but at the same time there is the will, the wish, the determination of these seminarians to answer God's call, because they strongly believe that this is the way that they can serve God and the Church.
Although tents can resist strong winds and rains, they do not offer adequate protection against high temperatures or assure students the necessary privacy. They must make an effort to adapt themselves to these somewhat precarious conditions. The great earthquake of January 2010 destroyed 70% of Port-au-Prince, Haiti's capital city. Most public buildings, as well as schools, hospitals, parish churches and the cathedral, were turned to rubble. Among the country's major institutions, the National Seminary's Theology and Philosophy faculty buildings suffered extensive damage.
Le Seigneur m'a donné la force pour sortir.
The Lord gave me the strength to go out, and I saw the magnitude of the situation outside. As I was responsible, the seminary rector, I had to go out and find the seminarians. Some of them had left because they were afraid, and they went to other places. But many stayed on site to save the other seminarians. As you well know, January the 12th was a terrible date for us Haitians. I was personally a victim of the earthquake of January the 12th.
J'ai été victime le 12 janvier.
My right foot here and my left arm here were broken. Since January the 12th, this year has been one of pain for me. I have suffered a lot. But despite this pain, I'm still very trusting.
Avec toute cette douleur, je suis très confiant. On m'a fait savoir à la section théologique.
I was told that 7 seminarians in the theology faculty had died. Luckily, God saved me. I do not know why He saved me, but thankfully, He saved me.
Il m'a préservé, mais heureusement, il m'a préservé.
The moment the earthquake struck, 159 theology students and 89 philosophy students were attending lectures at the National Seminary. A professor and 14 seminarians died during the catastrophe. Pain and uncertainty left their mark on those who survived. And yet, guided by their faith, they found the strength to go on.
J'étais au séminaire quand cela s'est produit.
I was at the seminary when the earthquake struck, and I can assure you that it was a hard experience, because there were seminarians I knew, a priest I had worked with and I loved and who loved me, and he's dead. Those seminarians had such a promising future before them, and yet they died during the earthquake. I can assure you that it was really terrible. But what helped me in that situation was that I did not rebel against God. I have always believed in God's love. It has been my faith in God that has enabled me to go forward.
Qui m'a permis d'aller de l'avant.
Je bénirai le Seigneur en tout temps, sa louange sans cesse à mes lèvres, je me glorifierai.
Et c'est moi qui étais là pour organiser.
I was there to look for coffins, to make people dig graves, and after singing the funeral rite, to bury them. It was very hard for me.
Inhumation. C'était vraiment triste pour moi. Et quand j'en parle encore,
when I speak about it, even today, I feel a tremendous sadness. But I offer it up to our Lord, because life is made up of sadness and happiness. But that kind of sadness has a special meaning for the seminary. And for me personally, which I accept with love and hope, because life always asks us to persevere with our prayers.
The earthquake of January the 12th, 2010, took the lives of more than 300,000 people. Joseph Serge Miot, the Archbishop of Port-au-Prince, was among them, as were 7 diocesan priests, 31 seminarians, and 30 religious.
The seminary is really badly destroyed. It really totally collapsed. Had they been in the chapel, they would have all died. The chapel totally disappeared. I mean, the floor is sandwiched between 2 floors, and there's nothing there anymore. Just imagine if there were 170 seminarians there, all of them would have died. Thank God, we lost only 6 of the seminarians in those buildings, which totally collapsed. So it's something we have to be thankful for.
The implications of the infrastructure losses suffered by Haiti's Catholic Church have touched all sections of society. As the country's major provider of education and health services, the Church has covered for governments often unable to commit the necessary resources as a consequence of Haiti's complicated social and political history. Priest numbers are also critical to the country's spiritual formation and human development. During the last decades, and despite Haiti's precarious history, the Church has made great efforts and indeed succeeded in increasing vocations.
If we reckon that there are 10 seminarians per diocese, we could be tempted to say that Haiti has many priestly vocations, just based on the figures, that is. But as regards church reality, when we touch ground, we realize that that is not so much. The Church provides many services that require many people to ensure standards are maintained at point of use.
Seminary professors work really hard. They spend days and nights with these young men. They share the same discomforts, keen to help them with their studies and committed to shaping their spiritual formation. All of these young men come from Haitian families who work very hard to survive. It is estimated that 90% of Haitian people have no regular job.
I believe that this earthquake has exacerbated what's called the economic crisis. Many Haitian families have been reduced to zero at the economic level, because the families who used to have a job and could afford their children's school and health assistance have no money at all nowadays. This is also true for seminarians. They come from humble families of modest means, whose standard of living is not too high. This is something that we can appreciate and must admit. Philosophy seminarians make an economic contribution annually. It is not enough. However, for me it is a lot, considering their and their family's economic situation.
Suffice to walk around the seminary to see the difficult conditions under which the students have to work. Almost everything is done in the open air. It is a testing time for both professors and seminarians. They all endure with great enthusiasm. This seminary under tents bears testimony to a church that not only refuses to give up, but one that is unflinching in its commitment to the formation of those young people who have committed their lives to God.
J'assume ces deux tâches ecclésiales
I undertake these church duties with dedication and out of love for my church, because I'm a son of the church. That is why I feel comfortable with myself when I'm with the seminarians, when I teach, or when I play, or when I run in the football field with them. It is the joy of being with them and encouraging them to continue following the priestly way.
Continuer le cheminement sacerdotal.
Puisque le prêtre, c'est un homme de Dieu.
Since a priest is a man of God, somebody who is called by God to labor for God, to work for God, the most important activity of a priest's life, in my opinion, is prayer. It is through prayer that a priest tries to be even nearer to God. It is also through prayer that he will bring people nearer to God, the people he will become responsible for. Likewise, even our studies are a prayer to God, because it is through our studies that we will be able to offer our testimony, that we will be able to respond to God's people, to be able to tell God's people, see, this is the faith of the church, this is what the church believes in, this is what the church teaches.
Voilà ce que l'Église enseigne.
Haiti is a country of many, many young people, and you see that as well in the Catholic Church. Along our trip this last few weeks, we've met many young men and young women as well who have decided to consecrate their life to God. I've been particularly impressed by the seminarians whom we met at the temporary seminary in Lillavois, on the outskirts of Port-au-Prince. Both faculties of the seminary were completely destroyed in the earthquake, and many young men lost their lives as well. And today it's very encouraging to see for the future of the church how these young men, despite great hardship because they're more or less camping out, are devoting their lives to the church and will join the priests and sisters who already do so much for the people in Haiti in the future.
Rebuilding Haiti will take a long time, all the more so if the key issues of corruption, violence, and social disintegration are not addressed and urgently dealt with. In a country in need of a spiritual renewal and social restoration, the Catholic Church is more than ever called upon to deliver priests with a solid formation, capable of offering hope as well as ready and willing to undertake concrete tasks in defense of fundamental values. Testimonies from seminarians confirm these young men's faith and idealism and offer grounds for optimism.
The road is long, but as one saint put it, when God calls, we have to respond. For my part, I must say that God has not only called me, but He has also accompanied me. I would like to be a priest according to God's heart. To be a priest according to God's heart requires no further comment. A priest capable of truly being God's witness, Christ's witness for people. And it is of my own will and with all my heart that I answer. This being my first year here, we have had many difficulties, but I can say that the motivation is even greater. I have not regretted anything so far. I am proud to respond, and I am equally ready to respond to the work the Church calls me to do. I want to be Christ's witness to the people he was sent to serve, to understand and accompany them in their most basic everyday situations, to be a part of their reality, to help them find Christ's face and invite them to follow him.